Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Bashem Rakak Wadash. My name is Yakalba from Plain Tables Camp, Philly. The scriptures speak about the wars, rumors of wars, and then these being the beginning of sorrows in Matthew 24th chapter. All right. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and let's say 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? All right. Yet the spirit of Yahweh Shai is going to secure the elect in this day, these days. What Ezra was talking about, these days, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent for scourges, for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So it's prophesied in the scriptures that there were going to be wars, rumors of wars, tribulation, and it says the beginning. So when you hear about the wars, that's referring to the beginning. 2nd Ezra 16 and 18. The beginning, just like Yahweh Shai said in Matthew 24th chapter. The beginning. So we go to Matthew 24. It says, Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation. That's exactly happening right now. All right. And kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquake in diverse places. Earthquakes. All right. Famines, artificial or, real. Wars. You got Russia, Ukraine. You got different wars in Africa taking place. And you have the Palestinian Khazar Jew war going on right now, which is Ishmael. Ishmael and Esau going to war. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. So we look at beginning. Arche, which means the beginning. The person or thing that commences. The first person or thing in a series of the leader. The leader would be the Third World War, the full Third World War, when the Russians and the West engage in direct battle. All right, that would be the leader, and the thing that commences it was you got the proxy war, Ukraine, Russia, and you got Palestine, the Arabs against the Khazar Jays. All right, so these are things that start. All right, so the scriptures are true. All right, it says, and earthquakes. You look up the different earthquakes that happen, the different famines and food shortages and supply chains. Matthew 24 and 8. All these are the beginning, arche, of sorrows. All right. So we know that where our persecution is about to come to pass. All right. We hear these wars, the earthquakes and famines. All right. And you want to have more wars. Let's say, where we at? This is G5604. I think I have this up. Yeah. Odin, which means pain, childbirth, travail, intolerable anguish, in reference to the dire calamities precedes the advent of the Messiah. So we know that these are signs of the revealing. All right, it's the apocalypse, which is the total destruction of Babylon, America. All right, and the plagues, which is the wars. All right, the RFID implant chip. Through childbirth, travail, intolerable anguish. That's what people dying in the wars. The martial laws that are coming. All right, the different drafts. I believe they drafted 300,000. Little brother shared the video. 300,000 Jays over there in the east. Intolerable anguish in reference to the dire calamities precedes the advent of the Messiah. So you go to Matthew 24 and 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, you'll find the what precedes the advent of the Messiah. All right? Nation rising up against nation. All these are the beginning of sorrows. It says, and then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my sake. And then many shall be offended. Yeah, because of the persecution. They're going to fall out and be afraid, and shall betray you, and betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many, and because of iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. Thought you had a friend, they're going to want to save their life. All right. But he that shall endure until the end shall, but he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. All right. So we have to endure. So if we are the elect, we're going to endure. All right. So this is a video. It says 5 things to know for October 10th. That's today, right? Yep. Classified docks, presidential risk, chemical ban. All right. So you can read the article. I'll put the article in the description box, but focusing more so on the on this video.
9 million Palestinians live in Gaza, one of the most densely populated areas on earth, now being pummeled by Israeli airstrikes. Add to that, Israel's defense minister has ordered a complete siege of Gaza.
That means most densely populated. That means a bunch of civilians, mostly civilians. So every time the little hats they do a strike, it's killing civilians.
Million Palestinians live in Gaza, one of the most densely populated areas on earth, now being pummeled by Israeli airstrikes. Add to that, Israel's defense minister has ordered a complete siege of Gaza, cutting off electricity and water supplies from Israel, as well as preventing delivery of humanitarian assistance. CNN's Ben Wiedemann has more on what Palestinians there are enduring and a warning. Some of the images in Ben's report are graphic.
And remember, they get special privileges because of they're the top Edomite tribe. They get special privileges. All right, so they can commit different acts without being punished by the United Nations and other countries going to war with them, because they get special privileges because they're special in the eyes of the rest of the Edomites. All right, so any other nation that do this, they'll get condemned. They'll get aid cut off. They'll get condemned in the United Nations. They'll send their diplomats over to chastise them or through proper channels and everything. But they're special because they're above the law, so they can indiscriminately do such acts. You know, America is too, above the law.
Moments after an Israeli airstrike on Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp, desperate calls for help. The dead, the dying, and the injured covered in dust and blood. Israel's wrath is now unleashed upon Gaza. The Israelis, say Ahmed Shamalach, hit the building without warning. They didn't ask us to evacuate. They didn't say anything. Suddenly we heard the airstrike and we ran to the building and found it had completely collapsed. Around 75,000 people in Gaza have already been displaced, according to the UN Relief and Works Agency, which deals with Palestinian refugees. In this cramped strip of land along the Mediterranean, 2 million Palestinians are now in the crosshairs of an enemy bent on revenge for Hamas's surprise attack, which left hundreds of Israelis dead and thousands wounded, and dozens now in Hamas captivity. By evening, the death toll in Gaza was approaching 700, with almost 4,000 wounded, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Monday evening, the spokesman for Hamas issued a grim warning. They'll start executing their civilian hostages and broadcasting those executions if Israel targets people in Gaza without warning. Gaza and Israel have gone to war many times before since Hamas took control. This will not be yet another brief outbreak of attack and counterattack before a return to the status quo. Israel is massing troops and armor on the outskirts of Gaza, preparing in all likelihood for a ground invasion on a scale not seen before. And now Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, has ordered what he called a complete siege of Gaza, cutting off all food, fuel, and electricity. That in a place where, according to the World Food Program, 63% of the population was food insecure before this war began. So much has happened since Saturday morning in Israel and Gaza, and it's only the beginning. Ben Wiedemann, CNN, Jerusalem.